Greetings, guys, gals, non-binary pals, and welcome back to another video. Today, I am coming back with another episode of Some People Should Not Be Parents. And today's episode is brought to you by r/shit mom groups say. So basically, people who join mom groups on Facebook and just see the absolute shit that's said in there, and we'll post it on Reddit for all of us to look at and be like, what? So I thought that would be fun to do today. I wanted to join some mom groups, but I realized that I would not be accepted. So I tried to make like a fake account and join a couple, but they were like, we only accept people with established Facebook pages. I'm like, yeah, I guess that's valid, but like, let me in, you know? Like, let me in. I want to see what you're talking about, but they wouldn't let me. So I'm just here on the outside having to look through Reddit to find content instead. As per fucking usual. But yeah, that is what we are doing today. Before we do get into it though, I would like to take a moment to say thank you to today's patron of the day, Boston. I appreciate you and your support so much. Thank you so much for joining. If anyone else would like to become a patron, you go to patreon.com/savvycat. It starts at as little as £1 a month and I appreciate it greatly. While I am promoting myself real quick, please, if you aren't already, don't forget to subscribe. 60% of you are regular viewers but are not subscribed, and I know that sometimes you forget to subscribe because I do that too, but here's a little reminder: if you aren't subscribed, it would mean a lot if you did. Anyway, into some shit that mum groups say. Starting off with quite a long one. A message to the Church of Jesus. The devil is trying to lull us asleep, literally. A testimony. The other week I was allowing my son to watch Dora because I thought it would be a good show to help him learn Spanish, and I watched it with him and I didn't see anything bad in it. I'm always looking for witchcraft and making sure to avoid it in shows. Well, I should have known better. I started falling asleep by witchcraft, I believe, because all of a sudden I got extremely tired. And all of a sudden as I was drifting off to sleep, the Holy Spirit woke me and I saw Dora with a chicken with a wand casting spells. I immediately gasped and shut it off and asked the Lord to forgive me. I want to make this post to make you all aware the devil is trying to lull us asleep, literally. We must be vigilant and sober. This is not just Dora, but all of the Harry Potter, Disney, Marvel, and more. It's basically in all shows besides Christian-based shows. Peter 5:8, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. Bro, it's not that deep. Dora had a chicken with a wand casting magic spells in a kid's show. And you're gonna call it, like, witchcraft and, like, satanic? I truly don't understand that at all. Like, it's fiction. It's meant to be just like a silly little story. It's meant to be like light magic, you know? It's meant to be just like happy little fun, cute things. It's just like little fairy tales. It's so wild to me that people see just like any form of magic as like witchcraft and seeing witchcraft as satanic when like, no. They don't have to be mutually exclusive. Like, you can have magic and have it not be satanic. It's just a silly little fun thing. It's wild. It's wild that you take it so seriously. It's Dora the Explorer. What is it trying to teach? What is it doing? And being like, it lulled me to sleep. Or maybe you were just bored watching a show made for 4-year-olds. Maybe. Maybe that's why you were sleepy and falling asleep, because it's not made for you. So you just got sleepy. But okay. My daughter is 9 months old. I'm so frustrated. Her cognitive level is like a 5-month-old. The only words she has said is ma or mom. Basically only mms. She doesn't mimic. She doesn't grasp anything I teach her. She doesn't try any syllables, not even G's or D's. I don't think that's what a syllable is. I think you mean consonant. It's not what a syllable is, but okay. I've taught her sign language since 4 months old and she still won't grasp it. I mean, it's only been 5 months and she's a fucking literal baby. I'm exhausted from having to guess every day what this child needs. It's beyond exhausting. She just won't use her words and proceeds to throw fits when I can't figure out what she wants in that moment. Oh my god, the baby is babying. She's 9 months old, man. Like, leave her be. All kids develop at different, like, rates at different like ages and stuff. Like some kids can talk at that age, some kids can't. I think it's more rare to talk at that age than it is to not. If I saw like a baby speak, I would be like, what the fuck? That's not meant to talk. That's a baby. You know, like you don't have these expectations of a baby. Of course they can't like grasp and shit. They all develop differently. You should go watch that Bluey episode, The Baby Race. Okay? Go sit down and do your homework. Watch The Baby Race. It is very important for you to watch that right now. All right? Go do it. Go do your homework. I'm assigning it to you as your homework assignment. Go watch it and then shut the fuck up. All right? Let your baby be a baby. Okay? Care for your baby. Look after your baby. Love your baby. And let them be a baby. Great. I'm Gen X, and I have a huge problem with how I am left carrying the weight for millennials. For example, I'm 42 and my daughter is 22. She decided a while ago she does not want any kids. She's actually getting a procedure for sterilization next year. But those souls needing to come into our family for ancestral or karmic reasons still need to be born. So I'm stuck birthing and raising 2 babies who should have been born to her, but can't because she's too selfish to have kids. We joke how my 1.5-year-old, her sibling, is actually hers, but she didn't want to have it. But deep down, it's not a joke. If she wasn't so selfish, I wouldn't have a toddler daughter right now. Jesus Christ. If she wasn't selfish? Because if anyone's selfish in this situation, it's you having a child you don't want because you feel like you have to because your daughter doesn't want to. Like, that's not how any of this works. No one has to have kids. We aren't like born to have a specific number of kids. There's no kids that are assigned to you. Maybe her decision is what she is meant to do, you know? Maybe there's enough people in your family already. You don't need any more people in there. Like, it doesn't matter. Don't have kids that you don't want because you feel like you owe it to your ancestors. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. What? That's so bizarre. It's absolutely bizarre. What? What do you mean? Please don't do that. Don't do that. What? And if you're gonna like try to give that child to your daughter, like if you've left her with all the responsibility, like if your daughter is living with you, what are you gonna do when she moves out and you can't joke about it being her baby because she doesn't want a child? You can't force her to look after your kids. What is wrong with you? Hey guys, I have a TMI question. So my 5, almost 6-year-old has discovered herself. I've caught her touching herself multiple times and keep telling her, that makes Jesus sad. We don't do that. But she sneaks off and does it anyway. She's just little, so I don't want to yell at her, but I don't know what to say to her to get her to stop. Any suggestions? It is very normal for kids to be figuring out their bodies and what's going on. What you need to do is not say shit like, if you do that, Jesus will cry, because that's going to make her scared of her own body and like what makes her feel good. What you have to do instead is tell her that she has to do that in private, you know, like don't do that around other people. That's something you do on your own, and like explain to her like what it is, like what her body parts are called and like how you're allowed to touch it, but don't let anyone else touch it. That's an important thing to say. Be like, it's okay if you do that and you do it by yourself in your bedroom alone, but don't let anyone else touch you there, okay? That's what you need to do. Don't just say you'll make Jesus cry. That's not gonna help anything. As you say, she's sneaking off and doing it anyway because she has no concept of that. She's like 5 years old and it feels good, so she's gonna do it because she doesn't see, and it's just her body. Like, to a small child, like, your, like, vulva is, like, the same as any other part of your body. It's just a body to them because they don't have any concept of anything else that it could be. That's why you need to talk with her. Don't tell her it's gonna make Jesus cry. Don't give her an unhealthy relationship with her body. What should I, female 28, do about me and my husband, male 28, disagreement on whether to cut my son? Hi, we, been together 7 years, have a son on the way. I personally am very strongly for the snip as I believe that preventative health is crucial. My husband, who is accepting of vaccines, surprisingly told me that he's unsure about if we should cut. I'm pretty certain that it's because my husband is uncut. He has a sentimental attachment and wants our son to look the same. It's clouding his judgment. I don't think so. That seems really odd, honestly. If that's a reason to do or not do a circumcision, it's a really odd reason. I want his penis to look like mine. What? That's really weird. Anyway, I did some research and found that it only takes one parent's consent, so if it comes to it, I will be getting my son cut no matter what. Before taking that route, I want to convince my husband that we should get it done so that it doesn't hurt the relationship. Can I have some advice on this? The advice is just don't do it. Like, it's all a load of fucking bullshit anyway. There is literally no proof that it's like actually helps with hygiene or health or anything. Like, there's not actually any benefit there. A major reason it got normalized is because it decreases pleasure, and it was done to discourage masturbation. That's why it happens. You know, there's not really any other reason. And I think we should leave genital mutilation alone. It shouldn't really be something you feel like you have to do. And if you do it without your husband wanting to, you are going to ruin that relationship. I vote don't. Just don't. There's no need to. There's no purpose to. That's not a decision that you should be able to make. It's so interesting, all these people talk about like genital mutilation and stuff, and then they go out and are circumcising babies. I'm like, fucking, my God. Ladies, is there a 24-hour place I can leave my kids? I want to go out of country for 10 days and finances are not allowing us to travel together. You want to just like ditch your kids at like a fucking kennel for 10 days? I need to know how old your kids are. Because like, if your kids are teenagers, then sure, I kind of get it. I still don't think you should, but like they can go stay at a friend's house or whatever and they'll feel like left out of a trip. But this is implying they're like quite small and you're like, I don't really want to spend time with my kids. I don't want to see them. I want to ditch them for 10 days. Like, you can't do that. You're a parent. You can't just ditch your kids for 10 days to go on like a mini vacation by yourself. I know that you might want to, but unfortunately, that's not something you can do. Okay? Especially if you don't have like a family member or a friend that they can stay with. Like, I understand sometimes needing a holiday and like a few days away. But 10 days away from your kids where you want to just like leave them behind, take your kids with you or don't go. It's just like some people like just have kids and they just don't want them. Like, you have kids. You have to be a parent now. I know it sucks sometimes and it's hard, but you do have to just be a parent and like prioritize your kids. That is unfortunately what you have to do when you have children. It's not about you. It is about them. That's just how it goes. We got the flyaway kids bed for the airplane and our 31-month-old did not want to wake up. This is just really funny because just say they're 2. Just say they're 2.5. 31 months? 31 months? So you're almost 3-year-old. But you're going to say 31 months. You stop using months when you get to like 18 months. I feel like that's like the last time you're like, they're 18 months. And then from there, they're like 1.5. Almost 2. I'm almost 7 months pregnant with our first child, a little girl. I've been fighting with my husband because he doesn't like the name I've picked out. I want to name her Tinderly, or Tinderly, because we met on Tinder a little over a year ago. The site helped me find my true love, and I think the name is perfect. My husband thinks it's embarrassing and doesn't want people to know we met there. How can I convince him how special this name is to me? Plus, I'm a little hurt that he is embarrassed by the way we came together in the world. Okay, firstly, you're 7 months pregnant with someone you are married to that you met a little less than a year ago. I think that some things were rushed. Definitely. So I feel like you will have some disagreements because I don't think you know each other very well and you probably shouldn't be married with a baby on the way, but that's just me. Tinderlay is an interesting name in the best of times. It's a very interesting name. But it's even more interesting because you are literally naming her after a dating app. That's so funny. That's so funny. I do think in the big year of 2023, people should be slightly less ashamed about meeting on dating apps. I think that that's like, you know, get over it at this point. They've been around for a long time. A lot of people meet on dating apps. But like, don't name your child after Tinder. That's a surefire way to get bullied. And also, it's just don't. What are you gonna call her, Tinder for short? You're just gonna call your child Tinder. What? Don't do that. That's terrible. That's so terrible. Oh my god. This is a really long one, so bear with. It's 4:40 in the morning at this fucking children's hospital. We were talked into an overnight observation just to make sure he doesn't need assistance breathing. So far, everything is checked out fine. No oxygen needed. However, they are far more interested in running standard newborn tests than they are with his breathing. Seriously, these a-holes have tried pushing vaccines, eye ointment, vitamin K, glucose test, hemoglobin test, PKU, etc. He's had a chest x-ray, which was clear. Of course, they told us that doesn't mean he didn't swallow meconium and aspirated it to his lungs. Eye roll emoji. The first doctor heavily ashamed me for declining the vitamin K and eye ointment, asking how I know I don't have an STD with no prenatal care. Double eye roll emoji. Then said he's at a high risk of brain bleeding because he was born at home with no doctor. Triple eye roll emoji. The amount of eye rolling I'm doing while I'm here just keeps increasing. Second doctor got frustrated that he wouldn't open his eyes while she shone her bright cell phone light in his eyes. 4 eye rolls. Well, freaking duh, lady. We agreed to one night for observation to make sure he didn't need oxygen. He hasn't. But they won't let him sleep. They won't let us sleep. Then the doctor did a bait and switch and said they had to keep him for 48 hours to make sure he didn't get an infection because I didn't test for GBS and it's really dangerous for him without antibiotics. 5 eye rolls. I said, absolutely not. We have other kids at home that just need us, and I just had a baby. I want to be home resting and healing. Fucking, how can you be so selfish, man? I'm having to sleep in an insanely uncomfortable chair bed thing, and I am hurting. You think you're hurting? Your newborn baby is fucking dying, and you're complaining about being uncomfortable? We've barely eaten since yesterday morning, except for a literal kid's lunch baggie from the nurse's station. They were trying to push formula, and since baby just wants to be held by mama, and they won't allow me to sleep with him, he just cries unless I have him. So later, they're going to make us sign an AMA because we refuse to stay longer. But they are still pushing PKU and antibiotics. We agreed to the PKU, definitely not the antibiotics. We didn't come here for him to receive newborn care, just get his breathing checked. They are also so disrespectful to the fact I just had him yesterday and I'm having my own care issues. Pretty sure I tore a bit. Not a lot, but definitely sore and it stings quite a bit. They don't care about feeding a new breastfeeding mom or making me comfortable. Doctor looked at me like I was crazy for saying I just want to be at home in my bed with my baby resting and healing. I fucking hate hospitals and doctors act like dehumanized pharma bots with no common sense. Totally ruining my badass birth from yesterday. Poor baby is so traumatized. It's no wonder so many of us choose to stay away from medical establishments during pregnancy. When they couldn't believe I was able to have a healthy live birth at home with my husband, much less breech. It's unreal some of the comments we've gotten. They even told me he's super high risk because I had prenatal appointment. 6 eye roll emojis and a laughing emoji. And though he's 10 pounds, they aren't sure he's full term. 7 eye roll emojis. Get me out of this crazy house. Sorry for the long run. I'm beyond exhausted and I've had enough. Okay, I do appreciate that every time she used the eye roll emoji, she added an extra one. She started with 1 and ended with 7. That was pretty amusing. That's the only amusing thing about this post though. Genuinely, parents like this, jail. Like actually serve jail time. You're refusing to give your kid antibiotics. They're like, your child is dying. We need to monitor them for another 48 hours and we want to give them antibiotics because they might die. And you're like, how fucking actually no. I want to be at home sleeping and my baby is traumatized. So I am going to take my baby home and you are not going to give it the care that it needs because fuck you. I know better than you, doctor. Oh my God. That's just straight up child abuse. You're like, I'm tired and traumatized from giving birth. Your child is traumatized from fucking dying right now. You know? Like, holy shit, bro. They're taking away from my badass birth yesterday. No one gives a fuck about your birth yesterday. Everyone's judging you for doing it at home when you should have done it in a hospital. Clearly, because shit went wrong. You're like, no one's caring about my medical issues that I had giving birth. I'm like, okay, then maybe they would have if you gave birth in a hospital that specialized in that. You're not at an adult's hospital right now. They're looking after your baby. It's a different thing, you know? Like, it's not your turn. You have harmed your baby and you will not let them treat your baby. And you're still making it about you. I'm uncomfortable. Why aren't I at home in my bed? My baby just wants to be at home. Your baby just wants to feel like a person. And right now, They don't feel like a person. They're in pain. They are sick, and you are refusing them treatment because you think you know better than a doctor. No wonder everyone hates doctors. They keep trying to like force shit on my baby. No, they're just trying to do their jobs and help. This like whole thing of people being against medicine is the single most ridiculous, stupid thing in the entire world. Antibiotics are like truly one of the, if not the greatest inventions ever. Like the best thing science has ever given us. Because people were just fucking dying all the time. Just all the time because of infections and shit like that, right? And now we have a way to prevent that. We have a way to fix that. And quickly too. Like antibiotics work so fast. And you're here like, they're disgusting and they're poisoning bodies. You know what's poisoning your body? The infection that could kill you because there's no way to cure it other than antibiotics. They never used to have antibiotics and people were fine. No, they weren't. They died. We were just fine without antibiotics for most of human history. No, we weren't. The average life expectancy was like 30. Trying to act like we were just fine without antibiotics is literally the most ridiculous thing ever. No, we fucking weren't. No, we weren't. People died. What did we do before vaccines? Die. That's what we did before vaccines. That's what we did before antibiotics. That's what we did before modern medicine. We just died. Be here all you want being like, it's unnatural. Like, fuck off, bro. Don't have kids if you refuse to get them medical care, all right? Just don't do it because you are causing a child to suffer because you think it's like stupid. And it's, oh my God, genuinely, I do think that parents like this should have their kids taken away from them. They shouldn't be allowed to have kids. And like, if it gets to a point where like, you know, their kid is suffering, like child neglect, jail time, like legitimately, there are stories and like real instances where parents refuse to get their kids antibiotics or vaccines, etc., and their kids die because they refuse to get them help because they think they know better. And that's disgusting and absolutely should not be tolerated. And I know that like kids have to get parents' permission to receive treatment, but that's so fucked up. I honestly do just believe that you should be able to treat kids without parental permission. Like, I'm sorry, I don't care. Like, I know that they have to ask for permission, and I'm sure that when doctors have to not treat children, they feel gross. And if anything happened to that child, they would probably feel really guilty. And I can't imagine being in that situation where you have to literally not save the life of a child just because their parent's an idiot. Like, that would suck. And I think that you should be able to just do it. And it sucks that you're not allowed to. That parents have the right to say, no, let my baby die. You shouldn't be able to do that. Speaking of anti-vaxxers, this is in reference to childhood vaccines, not the COVID shot. I don't want to vaccinate my baby with any of these shots. How do I get over the fear that my baby might catch something though? Right now I keep telling people, you can't come over, baby isn't vaccinated. But truth is, baby will never be vaccinated. So how do I get over this? I can't quarantine for life. Just get them vaccinated. I love being like, I'm afraid my baby will catch something, so I won't let her see any other people because she's not vaccinated. So you clearly think that vaccines work, and yet you're refusing to get your child vaccinated? Just go get them vaccinated, man. What's wrong with you? Just go fucking do it. Again, vaccines are one of the greatest things ever invented. And the fact that there are people who are privileged enough in their fucking bubbles to be like, I don't want to vaccinate my kid. Fuck off. Do you know how many people and how many places would literally do anything to get a vaccine? Like, I'm sorry to bring that up. I hate using that as a moral argument, but like, it's true, right? And you go through all of human history, everyone would fucking kill. If there was like one vaccine, people would murder each other trying to get it, right? Like, vaccines are incredible. They're incredible. And if you don't want to get vaccinated, and you don't want to vaccinate your kids especially, you're just causing suffering to your kids, right? Like, get over it. Get your kids vaccinated. Simple as that. And again, I'm at a loss. Took my boy in for his 2-month checkup and he's only at the 14th percentile for his weight gain. Now she wants us to add more formula to his bottles to increase his calories. I feel like a bad parent. He does eat, and honestly, I feel like he eats a lot. She's saying if he doesn't gain in 2 weeks, she will declare failure to thrive. Like, wow. Thanks. Has anyone else's baby just been small? Like, why can't that just be a thing? He did gain weight, but apparently not to her standard. Why don't you just feed your baby more? Right? Being like, I think that he eats enough. Clearly not. You aren't the medical professional here, man. Just give him more formula. Are you trying to like fat shame a baby? I think that he's big enough. He's not though, is he? And babies need to be bigger because they need to grow, right? They're not just like gaining weight to stay this big. They have to eat lots so that they can like get bigger, you know? They're like literally like having bones form in their bodies and like growing. What do you fucking mean? I think he's big enough. He gained a little bit of weight. I don't really want to feed him anymore. Literally, go to jail. Again, I'm sorry, but like some people shouldn't have kids. People like this shouldn't have kids. Okay? Like, and jail time because you're starving your fucking baby. For what? For what? Like, I think he eats enough. He doesn't. And if you refuse to feed your baby more, you don't deserve to have a baby. And your baby deserves better because it's fucking hungry. And you won't feed him anymore. Whew. This is in a group called Christian Moms, which is always fun. My 15-year-old son asked his father and I for something called the Jeffree Star collection. And when I looked it up, I realized it was actually makeup for girls. So there was no way I was buying it. My husband would throw a fit for a star, and neither of us believe in this new age gender neutral and calling people by pronouns. This is where it starts. I just found out my sister has gone and got it for him, and I'm livid. I don't want a big scene on Christmas Day, particularly as we have our pasta coming for lunch. How do I address this? Firstly, I don't believe in calling people by pronouns is one of the funniest statements ever. People really don't know what pronouns are, do they? Like, you used pronouns referring to him multiple times in this. You've used pronouns several times referring to multiple people in this, so you do believe in calling people by pronouns. Because that's how the English language works, it's calling people by pronouns. Makeup and gender aren't exclusive. They're not the same thing. You can be a boy and wear makeup. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't say anything about your sexuality. It doesn't say anything about your gender. Like, it might. Like, maybe. But you not buying him the pellet doesn't change that. Anyway, you not allowing him to express himself, wear makeup or whatever, is what's going to lead to him never opening up to you and then moving out and going no contact because he can't be himself around you and no one wants that energy. If you would like to keep a relationship with your son, let him be himself. And that includes doing his makeup, okay? Like, get over it. I don't believe in this new age gender. Oh my God. Grow up. Get over it. Let people exist and do what they want, okay? It's got nothing to do with you. Shut up. Anyway, I think that is enough looking in mum groups for today. They are just a wild place. Maybe I will be able to get accepted into some eventually, you know? I'll try my best. I'll find some that are open. But like the best ones are closed, you know? We'll figure it out. I'll find out. I'll try to get in there. And when I do, if I do, I'll make a video specifically about like Christian moms raising LGBTQ plus teens and things like that. So stay tuned for that happening hopefully someday. So subscribe and maybe we'll get it. A massive thank you to my Sprout and Above patrons whose names are up on the screen right now. And a huge, huge thank you to my Kiwi Cat patrons, Harry, Bobby, Sparrow, Josh, Mandy, Ikazel, Jessica, Eldo, Danielle, Anoli Like Cannoli, Elias, Apollo, Taylor's Trying, Boston, Chris, and Amelia. I appreciate you so, so much. Thank you so much for joining and for all of your support. If anyone else would like to become a patron, you can go to patreon.com/savvycat or click the top link in the description. It starts at as little as £1 a month for videos a day early and podcasts a week early. And then for £3 and up, you get things such as outtakes, bonus mini podcasts, live streams, vlogs, and more. I appreciate it a lot, so thank you. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, The Queer Kiwi, and Twitter, That Queer Kiwi. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. Keep fighting. I love you. Mwah. When you close your eyes.